Bang, bang for Pistol Pete. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Thank you for hopping on today. Our second ever live sales training webinar presented to you by the Alpha Sales System. First and foremost, thank you for being here and welcome to our webinar. Our last webinar was a massive success. First one that we ever did. We had over 100 plus salespeople and managers from over 10 different dealerships. We had some other business sectors on there as well. So thank you so much for being on the last one, and thank you so much for being on this one. Your feedback truly matters. I sent out a little survey to you guys after the last webinar. I'm going to do it again today. Your feedback is super important, and I did listen to it, and I'm going to explain to you some of the exciting things that we have in the future that plays exactly into what your feedback was. Little housekeeping, a little bit of a glitch early on today's webinar on my end. I know on the last webinar, guys, some of you had said that you got kicked off or you were muted. Listen, we're growing. We're working out the kinks. I promise you this. After this webinar, please let me know if there's any technical difficulties. I'm getting rid of this platform. I'm not going to stop until I find the perfect platform. I got a few of them already on deck wanting to do business with us. So let me know if there's any issues. I'm done with this one. So let me know if you have any issues whatsoever, because that's unacceptable to me, and I promise you I'll make it right. Q&A, guys, Q&A. Drop your questions in the chat. You also have my email. I'm going to put my personal email in the chat as well. Drop your questions. I promise I will email you and get back to you. If you think of anything between now and when we meet again, shoot me an email. I'll answer all of your questions for you. And at the end, I got an exclusive offer for you, and I'm excited to talk to you about it. Today's topics: word tracks and closing techniques and tips. Once again, a lot of the feedback that I got from you guys was you wanted to go over some different word tracks. So we're going to go over some today. Whether you're in the business for a week, a month, a year, 10 years, 100 years, chances are you definitely heard one or two of these. And as the kids would say, the real ones know. The real ones know what movie that's from. ABC, always be closing. If you don't know, do your homework and let me know if you figure it out. So some word tracks we're going to go over today, guys. These are some customer objections, and we're going to go over some word tracks to overcome these objections. Now, these objections, there's variance here, right? There's tons of variations of these specific objections, and there's a zillion different word tracks. For the spirit of today's webinar, we're going to keep it nice and short. We're going to run about a half hour so I can get you guys back out on the floor so you can use these tools that you're adding to your toolbox. But there's a million ways to overcome these objections. I'm going to just give you some of them today. In our formal trainings in the future and in our university, that's when we really do a deep dive. So I only have 10 minutes. We're going to go over that one. I'm not buying anything today. I'm not buying anything today. I'm not making a decision today. Hey, I don't want to rush into anything. I need to think about it, right? So I only have 10 minutes. I'm not buying anything today. I'm not making a decision today. Hey, I don't want to rush into anything, and I need to think about it, all right? I need to think about it. Let's start with, I only have 10 minutes, all right? I only have 10 minutes. Now, guys, this word track is to be used either on the lot or if you're standing in the showroom. This is not to be used in the close. For this particular word track, I like to use this one on the lot, or if I'm standing in the showroom, maybe I came in from the lot after my demo, after my test drive, or maybe even as soon as the customer comes in. Hey, listen, I only have 10 minutes. Listen, Ann, I only have 10 minutes. My word track to them would be 10 minutes is plenty of time. 10 minutes is plenty of time. Come on and follow me. Let me show you how easy it is to buy a car from us. 10 minutes is plenty of time. Come on and follow me. Let me show you how easy it is to buy a car from us. Guys, if you had to pick between sounding scripted and like me, I would always advise you to sound like yourself, to sound genuine. So there's many ways to skin this cat when it comes to using word tracks. So take bits and pieces of this if you feel more comfortable and make it your own. But this is just an example that I like to use. Make it sound genuine, turn it into your own thing, and just take from this what you may. 10 minutes is plenty of time. Come on and follow me. Let me show you how easy it is to buy a car from us. Or 10 minutes is plenty of time. Heck, we only need 5. Come on and follow me. 10 minutes is plenty of time, man. Come on. We only need 5 minutes. Come on, follow me. Come on, follow me. 10 minutes is plenty of time. We only need 5. Come on, follow me. So the technique for these two word tracks, guys, the technique for these two word tracks. So the first one, you're being non-combative. So what does that do to your customer? Well, it surprises them, right? So they expect when they say, I only have 10 minutes, that you're going to say, right? Because this is what they've heard from other untrained salespeople. Oh, 10 minutes? I mean, I can't sell you a car in 10 minutes. I mean, and then you get all flustered, and then you start to get combative, and then you don't build rapport. And the next thing you know, the customer's going not only in 10 minutes, but in 2 minutes, right? So you surprise them by not being combative. In the second word track, you say 5 minutes, right? So they said they only had 10. Now, conventional wisdom would say that you would say something like, well, I need at least 20 or 30. They expect for you to ask for more time. You surprise them. You do the opposite and say, I only need 5. So by doing that, you're throwing them off their game a little bit, right? So if they had a game plan coming in, you just threw them a curveball. So you actually you pulled away from the deal, right? So there's this, and we'll go over these in future techniques, but you pulled away from trying to sell them something by saying, hey, I only need 5 minutes, which is complete opposite of what they thought you would say. So if you would have said, listen, I need an hour, well, then you sound like you're trying to sell them. By you saying, I only need 5, right? I only need 5, they're saying, well, I know I can't buy a car in 5 minutes. He must not, or she must not be trying to close me today. The wall comes down. Now you can build rapport. Don't rush. All right. Here's a tip. Don't rush. So why not rush? And I only have 10 minutes. I got to speed things up. No. If they try to rush you, you have to slow down. If they try to rush you, you have to slow down, because if you rush too, what are you saying? What are you saying to them? You're co-signing to them that, hey, you're in a rush and I got to get you out of here. We're not making a deal today. You have to slow down, and hopefully they will match and mirror your tempo, your speed, and your energy. So if they try to rush you, you have to slow down. And the reason why is, guys, girls, you can't sell a car in 10 minutes anyway. All right, I know. I've read the forums before. I read one yesterday. What's the fastest you ever sold a car, fresh up? Oh, I sold it in 7 minutes. Okay, well, that's 1 in a billion. That's 1 in a billion. You can't sell them a car in 10 minutes anyway. So what are you rushing for? Slow it down. Be as efficient, be as precise, and as sharp as possible in any of these steps that you're able to cover in that 10-minute period of time. Chances are they have more than 10 minutes, right? And if you've been around the business long enough and you had $100 for every customer that told you they only had 10 minutes and they ended up staying 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, you probably wouldn't need to sell cars anymore, right? Because we've all run into it. But what they're actually saying is, guys, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. See, I only have 10 minutes is really them saying, don't waste my time. My time is valuable. So understand that what they're saying is, get to the point. Don't waste my time. Don't beat around the bush. So just stay composed. Understand that if they try to rush you, you need to slow down. If not, you're endorsing that type of behavior from them and you're making it harder on yourself. So I only have 10 minutes. 10 minutes is plenty of time. Come on and follow me. Let me show you how easy it is to buy a car from us. 10 minutes is plenty of time, man. Heck, I only need 5 minutes. Come on and follow me. Guys, just so you know, this webinar is being recorded too, and I will be sending it to you over the next couple of days. So don't worry about that. You're going to have all this stuff. I'm not buying anything today. I'm not buying anything today. Once again, on the lot or standing in the showroom. On the lot or standing in the showroom, I want you to say to them, if you didn't buy anything today, that would be my fault, not yours. If you didn't buy anything today, man, that would be my fault, not yours. Come on, follow me. Let me show you how easy it is to buy a car from us, right? If you didn't buy anything today, that would be my fault, not yours. How about this one? Even better. Today can be a fact-finding day. Allow me to provide you with all of the necessary information so that you can make an informed buying decision when you're ready. Even better, right? Let's say you freestyle a little bit. You could freestyle with this. Oh, man, that's even better. Listen, today we'll gather all the information necessary so when you're ready, you have everything you need to make an informed and educated buying decision. Ad-lib a little bit. Once you get the actual substance of this, right? Once you get the foundation, make it your own, right? But take the pressure off them. Take the pressure off yourself so you don't have to go into closer mode when you're not even in the close. You're not even in the close, so don't stress out. Don't stress out. Just stay relaxed. Couple of things that we're doing here with these word tracks. Couple of things that we're doing. On the first one, we're taking accountability, right? We're taking accountability. We're saying that if they didn't buy today, that would be our fault, not theirs. So what you're doing is you're taking accountability for it. Mr. or Miss Customer, if you don't leave in a brand new car today, that's on me. That's not on you, right? So you're not their adversary, right? You're taking accountability. A lot of what we do in this business is taking accountability for things that necessarily may not even be our fault, right? For lack of a better term, but it allows the buyer to save face, right? And we're going to dive into that, into detail in future webinars. You're taking accountability, and what you're also doing is you're psychologically detaching the customer from that objection, right? Because you're saying, if you didn't buy anything today, that would be my fault, not yours. So you're removing them from being stapled to that objection, right? Because if that's what they said, even if their mind changed a little bit, not to look like they're a bullshitter, they're going to have to keep up the lie, right? They're going to keep up the lie. Even if things start to turn in our favor, they're going to say, well, I told them I'm not buying today. Let me just run with this. So you detach them from ownership of that objection that they just placed on you. So a couple things you're doing there. And the second one, you're being non-threatening. You're being non-threatening. Listen, it's a fact-finding day. Relax. Let's get some information. And when you're ready, futuring it, telling them that, hey, I know you're not ready today. When you're ready, you'll have all the necessary information to make an educated, informed, and intelligent buying decision. But in the back of our minds, we're closing them today. Like, we're making a car deal today, but we don't want them to do that. We're bluffing right now. We're bluffing. So a lot of this is keeping composed and being able to act as if we're not trying to close, but in the back of our mind, we are going to close and we're going to sell a car today. 100% of the time, that's our mindset. I'm not making a decision today. So this is on the lot or in the showroom, right? On the lot or in the showroom. And the first one would be, okay, great. Then it'll be my job today to provide you with all of the information so that when you do make a decision, it's an educated one. Okay, great. Right? Let's freestyle. All right, great. So my job today is to get you all the information so that when you do make a decision in the future, not today, it'll be an educated one, right? Keeping that wall down, doing the opposite of what they expect. They're going to expect you to say, well, you came here today. Well, why wouldn't you want to leave with a new car? And then it starts to get combative. And that's not rapport. There's a time and place for that. The time and place is in the close. So in the close, it's going to be different, right? So now think about this. If you follow the process and you're in the close, you've demonstrated the vehicle, you've test drove the vehicle, you ask the customer if they could see themselves driving that vehicle every single day to work, every single weekend to and from, their place of leisure with their family. You trial close them while heading towards the building, asking that if the numbers were to fit into their budget, do they see themselves leaving with their brand new car today? And then you already got a signed commitment on your worksheet, on your guest sheet, your up sheet, whatever you call it, saying that if the numbers make sense, that they're going to leave with the vehicle today. So now in the close, you hit them between the eyes a little bit, right? Because you have a committed buyer as per their signature and as per their words. So in the close, I would say to them, and once again, a variation of this, but I would say, I totally understand that you feel like you won't be making a decision today. I totally understand that you feel like you won't be making a decision today, but no matter what, you are going to be making a decision. You're either going to be making a decision to leave in an old car or your new one. You're going to be making a decision today to leave in an old car or your new one. You're then going to segue into the summary close, right? So this is like jab, and hit them with maybe a little bit of a hook or an overhand right. So segue into the summary close. So what's the summary close? So I'm going to say, John, listen, totally get it. I understand that you feel like you might not be making a decision today, but either way, you're going to be making a decision. You're going to make a decision to leave in an old car or your brand new one, right? Now I go to my scrap paper. Those of you who have trained with me know that I'm not the most environmentally friendly guy. Sorry, tongue twister. Environmentally friendly guy. I go through a ton of scrap paper. I believe we're visual learners, and I'll start writing down, right? I'll start writing down the summary close. You're going to leave today in either the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with 80,000 miles, no warranty, no leather, no sunroof, no Apple CarPlay, 2 ball tires, check engine light on, paying $450 a month. Or you're going to leave in the brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee 2024, leather, sunroof, Apple CarPlay, full warranty, no miles, paying $850 a month, right? For $100 a week, right? Is it worth it? And I go into my summary close and we'll dive deeper into this, but I'll segue from not making a decision today to the summary close. Now, a couple things, guys. When you say you're going to be leaving in an old car, right? You're detaching ownership. You're going to be leaving in an old car, detaching ownership, old, negative connotation, or your new car, right? assuming the sale. Just little subtle nuances. Oh yeah, my new car. Oh yeah, this could be my new car. Oh, an old car. Yeah, I want to go home in an old car, right? So detaching ownership, attaching ownership, little subtle things. Is that going to make you every deal? Those little things? No, I don't know if it's going to make it. It's not going to make you every deal, but it's going to increase the probability of success. And what we do, this game we play is a probability game. Everything we do is either helping or hurting our chances of success. If we get all the tools in the toolbox and we use all of them, right? The chances are we're going to be able to build whatever we're trying to build, and that's a successful career in the automotive industry. Just to wrap it up, on the lot, I'm not making a decision today. Okay, great. Then it'll be my job to provide you with all of the information so that when you do make a decision, it's an educated one. Now, if you're in the close, I totally understand that you feel like you won't be making a decision today, but no matter what, you are going to be making a decision. You're either going to be making a decision to leave in an old car or your new one, in an old car or your new one. Make those your own. Be comfortable saying them, practice them, and we're going to practice them in future webinars. When we get into our formal training, we're going to do live interactive role play right here on our future webinars. I don't want to rush into anything. I got a few different ones for you guys. I don't want to rush into anything. So if you're on the lot, right? Customer says, listen, first day out, I don't want to rush into anything, man. I'm not rushing into anything. Okay, great. That works out even better. My job is to make sure you always make an educated decision and never a rushed one. Okay, great. That works out even better. My job is to make sure you always make an educated decision and never a rushed one. Keep the wall down, stress-free. You are planting some seeds, right? Futuring that if they do make a decision to leave with a car today, it's going to be an educated one, but not a rushed one. So you're planting some seeds there. How about this one? Absolutely. Let's take it slow so we can be certain that any decision you make today won't be a rushed one. Absolutely. Come on, man. Let's take it slow. Let's pick out a perfect vehicle for you. And then we'll make sure that any decision that you make today won't be a rushed one. We'll make sure that any decision that you make today won't be a rushed one. Once again, futuring that any decision that they do make won't be a rushed decision, either to leave with a brand new car or an old one, right? I don't want to rush into anything. That's on the lot. Not the time and place to really hit them between the eyes. Now's the time and place to build rapport. A lot of times, and I'm gonna take a little turn here. A lot of times as salespeople, what we do is we try to enter the close too soon because we start to feel stressed out, right? We start to feel stressed that we don't have a buyer. We don't have a committed buyer. And we want to rush and skip steps because we're saying to ourselves, okay, I just grabbed it up. I haven't had one in a couple hours, days, whatever it may be, whatever your circumstances are. I don't want to waste time with somebody if they're not buying today. But if you look at it that way, then you're always going to be wasting time because they're definitely not going to buy today because you're going to skip steps. Don't try to enter the close too soon. Trust the process, right? And you will get to the close in due time. And when you do, you'll be more equipped and more prepared because you'll have all the data that you need in order to close your customer. I don't want to rush into anything. All right, so now we're in the close. Right? We're in the close. We're presenting numbers. We're grinding this. You know what? You've been great. Hopefully they say that, right? And, I just don't want to rush into anything right now, man. If you got your card or maybe you can make a copy of this for me. When you're in the close, I totally understand. I always want to agree with them, right? I totally get it. That's usually what I would say. Listen, I totally get it. And I found that when making a buying decision, I only ever feel rushed when something about either the product or the payments don't make sense to me, right? Now, if I'm going to freestyle, listen, I totally get it. And, I've been in your spot before too. And I feel like whenever I feel like I don't want to rush into making a buying decision, it's always because there's just something about, the car or the payments that don't make sense to me. Right? Then I'll segue into isolating the objection. I'm going to isolate the objection and find out what about the deal doesn't seem perfect to them. And that's why they feel like they're rushing into something, right? Because people aren't afraid to spend money. They're what? They're afraid to make a decision they're going to regret. People are not afraid to spend money. They're afraid to make a decision they're going to regret. They don't want to regret making a decision. So a couple of things we're doing in this word track, right? We're showing empathy. I've found that when making a buying decision, I only ever feel rushed when something about either the product or payments didn't make sense to me, right? Empathy, showing them that I've been in your shoes, right? That I've been in your shoes. And a great salesperson has a perfect balance of ego and empathy, right? Ego being confidence and empathy being, hey, I'm a buyer too. I've been there. You're going to address and redirect. You're going to address their concern and then redirect back to what the true objection is. That's when we're going to isolate that objection. And I sneak in their payments, right? I sneak in there the word payments when something about either the vehicle or the product or the payments don't make sense to me. Focusing on the payment, right? Not allowing them to highlight or add any validity unnecessarily to other factors of the deal that maybe we don't want to focus on, right? Maybe it's term, maybe it's rate, maybe it's sale price, maybe it's traded. Let's focus on that payment. Let's focus on that payment and plant that seed in their head that, hey, listen, that's really all that matters anyway, right? Any of these other things going on in your mind that you're wondering if it's the best deal doesn't really matter. Let's sneak that word payments into there, okay? I don't want to rush in anything, right? I don't want to rush in anything. Another one, on the lot or in the close, okay? So on the lot or in the close, right? You can use it both ways. I don't want to rush into anything. I totally understand, but I promise if you choose not to leave today in your new car, it won't because you feel rushed. You may just not want a new car. Hey, listen, you may just not want a new car, right? So what's happening here? Well, I'm attaching ownership, right? I'm attaching ownership. If you choose not to leave today in your new car, right? If you choose not to leave today in your new car, and I'm using a little reverse psychology here. Well, how am I doing that? Hey, listen, you may just not want a new car. In their mind, they're saying, well, yeah, I want a new car. That's why I'm here. Why do you think I'm here? So pulling away from the deal, and then they're going to move closer towards it, right? I'm pulling away from, hey, listen, you just may not want a new car. I get it. Not a big deal. And they're saying in their mind, yeah, I want a new car. That's why I'm here, man. So it's just one of those things where just in the spirit of being the customer, right? Whatever we say, they're going to want to say the opposite sometimes. So if I say you don't want a new car, they're saying, yeah, I do want a new car. And they're moving closer to the deal. Just another technique there, but I totally understand. And I promise if you choose not to leave today in your new car, it won't be because you feel rushed. You just may not want a new car, and that's okay. That's okay, right? I know if you're new to the game, I know we definitely have some young wolves in here, some green peas. You may say to yourself, uh-oh, that feels a little dangerous. Me telling a customer they might not just want a new car. It'll come in time, right? And I'm not saying use it today, but I'm saying as you gain some knowledge and experience and confidence, you'll feel more comfortable saying things like this. So let's take into account and perspective where we're at in our careers. But hey, listen, the more you train and the more you hone your skills and work on your craft, the more tools that you'll have at your disposal and word tracks like these are one of those. And the last one, guys, I like to use this one when a customer is leasing a vehicle, maybe has about a year left or less, right? I don't want to rush into anything. I totally understand that you don't want to rush into anything, but today's decision could never be rushed. You actually made this decision 36 months ago when you leased your previous vehicle. You knew that at some point in 2 to 3 years, you'd be coming back into the dealership to get another car, right? You'd be coming back into the dealership to get another car. And explain that to your customer that, hey, listen, if you're currently in a lease, the decision that you make today could never be rushed because you made it 2 or 3 years ago. When you signed that lease contract, you knew in a few years you'd be coming to a dealership just like this one, dealing with a salesperson probably not as good as me, right? Just joking around with them, but they knew they'd make this decision. They'd have to make it. So whatever they do today, just build confidence in the fact that it's not going to be rushed. They already made this decision 2 or 3 years ago, right? So I totally understand you don't want to rush into anything, but hey, today's decision could never be rushed. John, you made this decision 2 or 3 years ago. When you leased that last vehicle, you knew in a few years you'd be in a dealership just like this one, leave with a car just like you're going to leave with today. So John, let me ask you this. And then I segue into, when I feel rushed, it's simply because something about the product or payments isn't correct. Then I segue into a different close, right? So like jab, jab, hook. I need to think about it, right? And guys, there's a billion different objections. We're going to go over all of them in future webinars. I just picked a few today. I'm going to keep this nice and short. We're going to run for about a half hour, all right? We're going to run for a half hour. I need to think about it. So if you're in the close, right, you want to agree. I totally understand that you need to think about it. Now, when you say you need to think about it, do you need to think about the car or the money? And I'm going to show you a little chart that I made. Do you need to think about the car or the money? We're going to isolate the objection, right? This is a tried and true one. It's been around for a million years, but do you need to think about the car or the money? We got to isolate the objection. I'm very visual when I'm in my closes. For those of you who have trained with me before in person, you know that. I like to map it out for them. I like to let them look at it and physically see it, right? If you get them to commit to the vehicle, this one should be easy, right? So if they say, No, I love the car. Well, all right, perfect. Now we know what it is. It's the money. It's the money, right? So you don't want it to be the car. See, here's the thing. You don't want it to be the car. You don't want to be on the wrong car. So you're praying that it's the money. That's the easy part. If it's the money, we can make it work. We can grind the deal, right? We can, as long as they're there, we're winning, right? As long as they're there, we're winning. If every 20 minutes their payment tolerance goes up $30, okay. All right, it might take us 3 hours. We're going to get there. We're going to get there, but you don't want it to be the car. If they say yes to the car, no, I love the car, that means no to the money, right? So now you isolated the objection. All right, so this fancy little flow chart. See this? This is why someday I'm going to get paid the big bucks. Look at this thing. No, it's horrible, but I made this yesterday, actually. So if I'm going to isolate the objection, right? If I'm going to isolate the objection, need to think about it, right? Do you need to think about the car or the money? Now, if they say the car, right? If they say the car, I'm going to ask them, all right, John, all right, Mary, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, how would you rate the vehicle? They're going to say a number less than 10, obviously, right? They're going to say a number less than 10 because the car is the objection. So let's say they say 8. I would say, all right, great. What would make it a 10? You're going to find out exactly why you're on the wrong vehicle, right? So I need to think about it. Is it the car or the money? Is it the car or the money? I just don't know. I just don't know about the car. Okay, totally get it. Totally get it. So let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, how would you rate the vehicle? I give it about a 7. Give it about a 7. All right, so let me ask you this. What would make it a 10? What would make it a 10? You find out exactly why it's the wrong car, right? Any additions you need to make, or maybe some things you need to take away from it. Maybe it's too big. Maybe there's something about it that it has they don't like. If it's the money, quite simply isolate. Now, when you say the money, do you mean the down payment or monthly payment? Do you mean the down payment or monthly payment? That will segue into future word tracks and closing techniques that we're going to go over in future webinars, but you got to isolate the objection. If it's both, guys, if it's both, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time, but you got to start somewhere. Start with the car, because if it's not the right car, the numbers could never make sense. Start with the car. All right, and a couple tips for you. Every trip to the desk costs you money. Every trip to the desk costs you money, right? Your first trip to the desk is your worst trip to the desk. I've been saying that for years. Your first trip to the desk is your worst trip to the desk. Well, why is that, Ann? Well, because as soon as you get up to go to that desk, right, you're grinding a deal, customer sends you to go talk to your manager. As soon as you go up there and come back with lower numbers, what did you do? You told your customer it's a possibility. They're going to be playing ping pong with you. They're going to be sending you back and forth to that desk. So your first trip to the desk is your worst trip to the desk. I used to visually and literally imagine that my butt was glued to the chair, right? My butt's glued to the chair. I still do it today. If I go in on a deal, my butt's glued to the chair. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to figure this thing out. I'm going to try to sit as long as I possibly can. Now, if they stand up, all right, well, I guess we're going to get out of here. It gets a little stressful, right? A little stressful, especially if you're new to the game. Try to stay seated, guys. Try to stay seated, because if you stand up, you're just co-signing the fact that, okay, our time today here is now up, right? I guess we can't make a deal. Try to stay seated. Try to use your words. If you have scrap paper that you're grinding a deal, that helps as well. Try to start writing on the paper. Try to start using techniques to draw their attention to the paper, right? Being able to write some stuff down will freeze them up a little bit. Say, all right, so John, let me ask you this. Before you go, right? Co-signing that, yeah, I know you're leaving, right? So you're not being combative. Before you go, let me ask you this. And I don't know if we could do this or not, but what if we could? Meanwhile, I'm brainstorming. I really don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm brainstorming. They're frozen. I start writing out some stuff. They're standing. Then they sit down. Now, if they start walking towards, the front door, then you got to get up and chase after them and scream for help if you have to. But try to stay seated, because they could be bluffing you too. So I like to say, doggy paddle until you can no longer doggy paddle. Just don't drown, right? Try to stay in there and grind as long as you can when you're grinding a deal, right? Grind the deal, doggy paddle, but don't drown. Hop out of the pool. Speak until you feel like you're compromising your integrity, or you're starting to talk in circles, you're starting to, sound like you're bullshit. Then you want to hop out of the pool and regroup. Tell them you got a great idea. I'll be right back. I want to bounce something off my manager. Could I get you a bottle of water, a cup of coffee, or, a high-end snack from our vending machine? All right, so doggy paddle, but don't drown. All right, guys, that half hour flew by. Tried to give you a bunch of stuff in a short period of time. Thank you so much for being here. I'm extremely grateful for you for being here. And, your commitment to mastery is something that I admire. Like I said on the last webinar, and I truly, truly, truly feel this, 99.9999999% of salespeople in the world right now, salespeople in the world are not taking a half hour out of their day to hone their skills. They're just not, right? They're not taking the time to work on their game. So that separates you from everybody else. And you should be proud of that. And this is just our beginning, together on this journey that we're going to take as part of my commitment to your success. And I know a bunch of you personally, I'm getting to know a bunch of you as well. We have future webinars to come. So let's stay connected. Keep an eye open for emails that I'm going to be sending you. I'm going to be sending you webinar information. I'm going to be sending you training tips. I'm going to be reaching out about exclusive content that we have as well. This early fall, right? So this fall, we're going to do, I would say early end of September, early October-ish, but early fall, we're going to be launching some exciting stuff. We have our formal webinar training. They are the webinar sessions where I'll literally sit here all day with you. If it's 1,000 of us, if it's 100 of us, if it's one of us, I'll sit here 12 hours. I don't care. I'll answer every question. That's going to be live interaction. That's going to be role-playing stuff, guys. I listened to your feedback. A lot of you said, hey, listen, I want to role-play. We are going to create an environment for that. We're literally going to be able to talk via webcam and role-play. It's going to be super exciting. That's when we dive deep on all of this stuff. So there's going to be great live interaction. Our sales university is coming. It's a comprehensive sales training course. I have over 55 chapters created already. It's currently being built right now. I'm super excited about that. That will literally take any salesperson, no matter the experience, whether it's day one or day a million, from A to Z, and teach you how to sell cars at a high level, how to make a ton of money, and how to build yourself a successful career. And we don't forget about our own people. We don't forget about where we came from. So we're going to have some early bird opportunities. For those of you that are on these free webinars, we're going to have some early bird opportunities to get you guys in on the ground level. So let's hop on a call. Let's dive in and really go over what this thing's going to look like for your dealership. It's going to be personalized content. It's going to be custom content. It's going to be specific to your exact store, your brand, and your processes. It's going to be awesome. So let's hop on a call. Let's go over that stuff. I'm super pumped to go over it with you. And the Q&As, guys, drop them in the chat. Shoot me an email. Those of you that, I talk to regularly, I'm on 24/7. This business doesn't shut down. I'm never closed. Reach out to me. Any questions you have, I promise you, I will answer them because I'm committed to your success. And I truly value being part of this family that we're building. So thanks again. Your commitment is inspiring. It's truly inspiring. I can't say it enough. Believe me, somebody that loves this game as much as I do, I live this, like I literally live this. And to know that you're on here with me, really means a lot. And it says more about you than it does me. That's for sure. It's all about you. So I'm wishing you continued success in business and in life. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you. And welcome to the Wolf Pack. Welcome to the Wolf Pack.